Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be talking about what a program is, how to write a program, and how a computer executes a program. A program really is just a sequence of instructions for carrying out a task. Okay, so think of a note that a parent might leave for their child when they return home from school. And the parent wants the child to do their chores. And so they leave a note that says something like, oh, I don't know, walk the dog, and then clean your room, and then wash the dishes. Okay, so there's 3 commands here. And these are a sequence of instructions that would be very clear for someone who is like 10 years old. But a computer doesn't act like a 10-year-old. A computer is more like an eager 3-year-old who has to be given very, very fine-grained instructions. And so we have to take each of these big instructions and kind of break them down into much more detailed instructions. So, for example, walking the dog might involve get a leash from the closet. Okay, and then until the dog is beside you, call the dog. And then attach the leash to the collar. And then, I don't know, if it is raining outside, get an umbrella. And then go outside. And then repeat 1,000 times, take a step forward. And once we've gone 1,000 steps away from the house, we turn around and then repeat 1,000 times, take a step forward. Okay, so now we're back at the door. So we go back inside the house, detach the leash from the collar, and then put the leash away. Okay, so this is a list of commands for what it means to walk the dog, and it's very detailed. And this might be something that a 3-year-old could do. Now, the 3-year-old might not be able to count to 1,000, but really the 3-year-old is an analogy for a computer, and it can easily count to 1,000. Okay, so we see basically 3 kinds of commands in this. There's an unconditional command, right, like that, or a primitive command, such as get a leash from the closet. So the computer just does that. We see conditional commands, in other words, commands that we only sometimes do. And so here's an example of that. If it is raining outside, then get an umbrella. So if it's not raining, you wouldn't get an umbrella. So that command, get an umbrella, is conditional, and it's protected by that condition that says if it's raining outside. And then we see repeated commands, things like repeat 1,000 times, take a step forward. And so this is a lot more convenient than me writing out 1,000 times, take a step forward, take a step forward, take a step forward. Right? So in reality, actually, there's another repeated command within this sequence of instructions. What do you think that is? The answer is right here. Until the dog is beside you, call the dog. Now, this isn't repeated in the same sense of repeating it like 5 times. We don't know how many times we might have to call the dog. But we know when we can stop calling the dog. We can stop calling the dog when the dog is beside us. So you would basically call the dog and then check to see if the dog is beside you. No? Well, call the dog again. Is the dog beside you? Nope. Well, call the dog again. Now is the dog beside you? Yes. So it took a number of times until the dog was beside us, and then we can attach the leash to the collar. All right, so now that we've kind of defined this process, we can group all of these commands here together under the single heading, walk the dog. And so we've effectively taught the 3-year-old what it means to walk the dog. And anytime later, I can just issue the one command, walk the dog, and then this entire sequence of instructions can be carried out. And so programming a computer is basically just like this. We have 4 building blocks. We've got these primitive commands that are you just do them, okay, like get a leash from the closet. We have these conditional commands, such as if it's raining outside, get an umbrella. And we have these repeated commands, such as repeat 1,000 times, take a step forward. And then finally, we have groupings of commands, such as walk the dog. And once we define that group, then all of those internal commands can be executed as part of executing the outer command. So a computer can step through these commands very quickly and efficiently, but it can only do what you as the programmer have instructed it to do. So the rest of this video series, and in fact the whole course, will be breaking down how these 4 building blocks work, and then using those building blocks to solve interesting problems with computers.